Today's question from Instagram comes in from Matt. He says, should we work with multiple banks to avoid what's happening with SVB? You should work with multiple banks, but it has nothing to do with SVB. SVB shouldn't be a model that you ever follow with a small business. SVB was a crash of high-tech startup and venture capital players. It was a players bank. Small business people did not have their money in that bank. This is Silicon Valley doobers all misbehaving under the heading of a bank, and it came crashing down on their little doober heads. But it hadn't got anything to do with the bank I operate in or you operate in, okay? So that's not why. You need always, when you're dealing with any kind of vendor, and a bank is a vendor. Believe it or not, they're a vendor. That's where you do your banking. They are helping you. They're a supplier to you. They supply a service to you, checking, payroll, debit cards, whatever, right? It's a service they provide to you. And so if you are working with a key part of your business, it's always good to have more than one vendor in that category, because that way you're not beholden to them if they change their pricing. You know, they come in and go, I'm going to double my pricing. Well, I guess you are, but it won't be here because we'll be going with our other vendor that looks just like you that we already work with. And so it keeps them honest when you have more than one vendor as a provider of stuff. For instance, when we're doing publishing, we publish literally millions and millions of books. We haven't bought them all from one printing company. We have multiple printing sources and paper sources to keep the paper pricing, the delivery dates, the quality, and so on, all honest. And if one of them starts screwing around with us, then we can go to the other one. But we always have at least two on a major area where we have vendor relationships, maybe three, and one on deck that wants one of their other slots. And so they're always competing in a healthy way. Now, I have vendors that I've worked with for 20 years. I'm not jumping from vendor to vendor for no reason, but I'm also not going to get in a position that I'm a prisoner of this relationship. And when you have one bank, you're stuck with whatever that stupid butt bank does. And by definition, it's a bank. So stupid butt goes in the category. I mean, it goes in the sentence, right? So it's a bank, for God's sakes. So you do want more than one. Okay, we currently have 3 banking relationships. Now, we have a primary, and the lady at that bank that handles our accounts there, I have been with her for 35 years. I was with her at another bank, and when she left and went to this one, we moved with her. We weren't loyal to the bank. We were loyal to her because she's incredible, okay? So we have one primary relationship and 2 minor relationships, and we've got that way we've got a little bit of FDIC protection, but that's not the reason. We're over the limits on all of them anyway, but over the protection limits. But we've got relationships, that way we're not captive to a misbehaving relationship. Because if you've only got one person doing, you got one supplier for one of your key elements in your business, and they go sideways, you do too. You're left out in the cold too. They go out in the rain. You get to go out in the rain. They decide they're going to have supply chain problems. Well, I've got supply chain problems because they do, because I only had one option. So diversify your vendor relationships, and banking is a vendor. But it has nothing to do with SVB. It's just that, you don't want your banker thinking they're all that, because they're a banker. By definition, they're not all that. Okay? So just, and we don't deal with we deal with small, regional, and local banks is who we deal with. And that way we actually get to talk to human beings who can make decisions. When you deal with somebody like, these ridiculous, like Bank of America, oh, gag. I got a little throw up in my throat when I said it. Bank of America. It's just, don't, no. They're going to treat a small business person like a pissant. And because you are to them. You're a number, and you're going to get no respect, no mercy, no help. Yeah, don't do that. Deal with your people that are in your neighborhood there that you can have a cup of coffee with. You can have them come over, have a discussion. Go, look, these payment flows aren't. This flow on this checking is not working. You guys are screwing this up. You're killing me over here. and this wire transfer process you all have got is just killing me. So, or ACH or whatever it is you're doing with them, right? So a bank is a vendor, and it's a key vendor relationship for a small business. Never have just one.